A student, popular football player, evil child molester.
We find the defendant guilty.
I've never woken up in the morning and wondered, did we get the wrong guy?
This trial was a sham.
There's been an outcry.
I'm completely innocent.
He's a great guy.
He was absolutely guilty.
They got it wrong.
Initially, I was pretty convinced of his innocence. Now I wouldn't be surprised either way.
Welcome back to a special quarantine edition.
We got a real special guest.
What's up with your Brody with the virtual handshake?
I'm gonna tell y'all something that I never told nobody.
I want all the smoke.
Welcome back to another quarantine edition of All the Smoke. I'm excited about this one. Y'all motherfuckers get ready to laugh.
This is the A-list edition.
Like, I think we outdid ourselves here, Jack. Shit.
Yeah, man, I can't believe it. I mean, go ahead and just introduce me, man. Let's get this shit started.
You can't even spit that shit out. I know you excited.
I can't even get it out. I ain't got to lick my lips or nothing. My shit ain't even ash. I'm ready to go.
That nigga ready to go? All right, man, welcome. One of the greatest, hottest actors of our generation. Trend-setting, groundbreaking musician, jack of all trades, if you don't mind me using that term. Welcome, Jamie Foxx. Thanks for coming on, man.
Yeah, man, come on, man. You ain't got to do all that, man. We homies, man.
Yeah, but hold on. We gotta. The rest of the world gotta know, man.
I remember saying, man. You left out super party thrower.
Man, what?
Left that shit out. Come on, man.
I gotta be invited to one of them.
I still got chicks I talked to that I met at your party. What was that, 10 years ago?
Man.
How long ago was that? Yo, 10 years ago?
It don't matter. About 10 years ago, you know, and you came in all the smooth, you're the light-skinned, smooth-ass nigga, you know, they gonna go crazy.
Hey, I remember the legendary session we had in your studio. That shit, y'all was singing, rapping, Stoop was in there. This shit was, yeah.
Yeah, man, but you know, that's really kind of hard how I got into the business.
Really?
Like, throwing parties, man. Like, back in the day, like, I had just got on this little show called In Living Color back in the day, dog. And I wasn't nobody, but like I talked to this girl, really pretty, and I said, how do I get people to come to my party? She said, Jamie, throw parties, invite the girls, but don't put no pressure on them. I said, what you mean? She don't put no pressure on them. Make sure they can have a good time, you know what I'm saying? Relax. I said, cool. So I throw this it was a Halloween party, dog, and I went all out. I spent like $800. I had it catered.
Killing.
Now, you know, back then,
that's early 90s. That's early 90s.
That's early 90s. $800. That's like 20,000. That's 20 raps at that point. So I went all out, dog. And it was a Halloween party, and like 10:30, wasn't nobody at the crib. I said, damn, I done blew it. I done spent all this money, got barbecue, whatever, fuck. And then like 11:30, they started rolling in. And then that's Yo-Yo came.
Oh, okay.
Back in the day.
Yeah.
All the cast was coming, but I was wondering who big was gonna show up to stamp the party. And nigga, I'm looking outside and this motherfucking black, what is it? NXS? Or what's that? The black XS? What's that car? The Nissan, what was the Nissan? The XS?
Oh yeah, the XS.
That black, whatever the fuck that shit was. Black ass car, nigga, the shit was rich looking. And Wesley Snipes got out the motherfucker. And came to my, I said, this is Blade.
It's over.
This is the
Blade. Hey, Blade is in the building.
And you know, that nigga came out. I hear a party's going on. Is that what this is about? I said, oh shit. So that started like this tradition, man, of like just getting everybody in the same place, man. And I would invite musical people, because I wanted to get into music too. I would invite music people to the crib. So when you saw Snoop and all them, that was just like part of what I had been doing since shit, man. I remember the biggest one was in 2000. And we had, that's when Puff was hot. Puff was like, you know, on his shit. You know what I'm saying? This nigga would come to LA and shut all the clubs down, and we couldn't even get in our own club, that type shit. And so I threw this, it was a house party, and Puff had threw a party for like $1 million in Philly. Damn. And I used to follow him with a camera. He said, yo, Playboy, this party's $1 million. I said, what the fuck, $1 million for a party? I said, Puff, I throw a party in LA for $400 that'll rival that'll rival this part. And he got mad. He said, oh, nigga don't play. I said, no, I'm just saying, man, you know. So he comes to LA. He gets here. He calls me like a Saturday morning. He said, yo, Playboy, make that shit happen. So I called up, you know, me and Dave Brown, called up some girls or whatever like that. And I had my little small house like over there in Van Alden. And so about 12 noon, I called him. I said, bro, you better get here. It's fever pitch. And when he got there, he walks in. He said, that's the girl from that show and that's the girl from that movie. And I said, yeah. We all know each other. But look on the table. I got Kentucky Fried Chicken. I got Coca-Cola in a pitcher. I said, we $208 and it's a fever pitch. And at that point, nigga, it was everybody. Missy had a room. Missy Elliott had a room. Yeah. Missy was hot. But then it was a dude standing on the wall that didn't nobody know who he was. Guess who it was? He had a tracksuit jacket on. Guess who it was? It was Jay-Z.
What? Damn.
Nobody knew who he was. And I walked up to him. He said, yo, nice party. It's crazy. Like the SHOWTIME. I said, yeah, it's crazy. So he was there. Pharrell was there. So that tradition, we just keep it rolling.
You put that shit on. I mean, hands down, this motherfucker thought
look,
the best party out.
Look, Steve.
Now,
it's crazy. It's crazy. It's nice parties like the SHOWTIME. It's crazy. It's crazy.
All Jack's been talking about. All Jack's been talking about is this part. He wants you to impersonate.
Listen,
go ahead.
I'm laughing. I'm laughing because every time I see you do impersonation, bro, I just think of Rodney Earl Boone's, bro.
Rodney Earl Boone's gonna be all right, my nigga.
He said he blazed trails niggas get burned on.
I blaze motherfucking trail. I understand me, the niggas get burned on.
Hey, Steven, I owe you something though, man.
What's that?
I've been stealing from you, bro.
What's that?
I've been stealing. You don't even know. Look, you know, I'm still in the gym, dog, trying to hoop.
Uh-huh.
And, you know, I would have made it to the league, dog. It's just my calf muscles. I didn't have no calf muscles. But check this. Every time we battling and I got the ball and it's last shot, you know what I say?
You make love to pressure.
I make love to pressure.
I make love to pressure.
I make love to pressure. Where the shirts at? Where the shirts at, baby? I make love to pressure, bro.
I told Matt,
Tell that story, man.
I told Matt, you told me at the game, at the Luda game, he was like, Jack, I was walking and like, what's up, Jamie? I was just happy to see him. You know what I'm saying? You put him to the side. I was like, bro, the game was going on, Matt. He walked behind the bench and pulled me to the side while he was coaching the game. He's like, look, bro, I don't know what you got going on, but I'll make love to pressure. You need to make the T-shirts. Where the T-shirts at? Right now. We need to make it right now.
But tell a story though, because I be telling people tell a story about they was asking you what you would have done in that situation.
Yeah, it was a reporter. And I had made a lot of big shots with the Spurs. And they was asking me like, well, you know, it's your first time in these moments, you know what I'm saying, and you've been dealing well with pressure. I say, well, you know, where I'm from Port Arthur, Texas, we make love to pressure.
Oh my God, bro! I almost threw my shoe at the television. I said, I'm like, nigga, ain't nobody ever said nothing like that. In all the interviews you done seen, that's the coolest shit in the world. That motherfucker said, I make love to pressure. Nigga looked at the camera.
I'm gonna make some shirts and send you one just so we can have, just so me and you can have them, dog.
We gonna make the shirts. We gonna make the song. I make love to pressure.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's the song. Yeah, that's the song.
Yes. Do you want to make love? Do you want to make the genuine
pressure?
Motherfucker? Baby hair production.
Baby hair production.
I make love to pressure.
Yeah, my motherfucking face hurt. We ain't even started yet. Goddamn.
God, man. Y'all the coldest with this.
Hey,
shit,
man, we appreciate you. Let's get to it, though, man. You're only the second male in the history of acting to receive 2 Oscar nominations for 2 different movies in the same year, the other being Al Pacino. We know it was a grind, but in that moment, being that part of history, what did that mean to you?
In order to get to that history, we had to go back of what I went through. You know, it's sort of like I reference everything like sports. You know, being a rookie on A Living Color with the Wayans, you know, I was like the 8th funniest person. Imagine walking in and you the 8th funniest person. It was Keenan, it was Damon, it was the fucking Tommy Davidson. Them motherfuckers was incredible. So I had to learn how to really compete. And Keenan told me something, man, that I'll never forget. Keenan was tough on us, and y'all remember. I don't know if y'all remember this era because it was like, you know, back in the day.
Come on, man. Living Color is one of my favorite shows.
Listen, when we was on that show, bro, think about it. It was only 22 minutes of airtime. So it was just like getting game time. Mm-hmm. So in order for you to get game time, you had to beat Jim Carrey.
Yeah.
You had to beat Damon Wayans. And Keenan said, listen, man, as a black comedian, if you ain't great, you ain't shit. He said, so I'm gonna hold y'all to greatness. So I just maintain that, man. And like from doing the stand-up comedy, trying to be great at that, from watching Eddie Murphy on stage. Like I snuck in and watched Eddie Murphy on stage when I was 19. I watched Adam Sandler do his first gig, Chris Rock, all that. So I just kept saying, if I could just beat the next motherfucker in the room, I will always have a way to make my way through this business. And then finally, look, man, Ray Charles came along. That movie came along, and it was like I had been preparing myself, not knowing that this movie was gonna come along. But when I got with the director was like, when we first started working on Ray, first of all, I had to be 157 pounds.
It was a bunch
that was
of weight.
The first thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so right now, I'm walking around now, because I'm getting ready to jump up to this Tyson thing. I'm walking around now like 205, but I had to drop to 157. And then he was like, okay, I got a problem. I said, I got to be able to hold the camera on you, but I need somebody to play the piano for you. I said, no, man. My grandmother, taught me how to play the piano when I was 5 years old. So I'm equipped. I'm ready to go get it. Now, mind you, nobody was really thinking about the movie Ray Charles. We wasn't thinking about that. It was an independent film. And then finally, I meet Ray Charles. And I had to like really win him over. And I said, Mr. Charles, I just want to do the best that I can to tell your story. And he's like, hey, you know what? Can you play the blues? I said, I said, what? If you can play the blues band, you can do anything. So we sat down. Sat down on the piano, right? And we started playing the piano. So we playing the blues and everything like that. And then he moved into Thelonious Monk, which is real intricate jazz shit. And then I hit a wrong note. He got, hey, why the fuck would you do that? I was like, I was just trying to keep up. He said, hey, you know what? Hit the right notes, man. And he said, that's what life is, taking your time to hit the right notes. Yeah. So I finally played the piece right. He got up, slapped his leg, the kids got it, and he walked out. So that preparation, when we got into the movie, was all I had. One of the problems was that I met Ray Charles while he was older. I needed the young Ray Charles. So I reached out to Quincy Jones. I go over to Quincy house and say, hey, man, shit, come on in here, man. Shit, what are you trying to do, man? Shit. I said, I'm trying to do all the Ray Charles. I said, shit, man, Ray was a son of a bitch, man. I have all the keys to what he was doing, man. He was a son of a bitch, but he was incredible. So I said, but I need to know the young Ray Charles. So he gave me a cassette tape.
That conversation alone, I could imagine that conversation alone.
Oh, man. Just sitting there talking to Quincy, talking about, what he did with Michael Jackson and Usher and all that shit was just amazing. And he gave me that cassette tape. He said, maybe there's something on this tape. And on that tape, people would probably have to Google this, but it was a lady named Dinah Shore on there. And she says, hi, this is Dinah Shore from the Dinah Shore Show with two very wonderful musicians, and Mr. Kenny Rogers and Mr. Ray Charles. And in the back, you hear, hey, you know what? I'm so happy to be here. Donna, I didn't know you knew my music. Hey, you know what? And then she asked him about the drugs. She said, well, talk about the drugs, Ray. He's like, and he stopped. And so he started to stumble and fumble his words. So I took that as the DNA, that every time he was met with something that was challenging, he was stuttering the movie. And so then we went on, we did the movie, man. And after the movie came out, you just seen everybody flock to it. It was like, when I'm doing these characters, man, sometimes the characters have to embody you. So I embodied Ray, and then it just caught fire. And the next thing you know, we was on our way.
You feel like that was your crowning moment, right? Like that was your welcome to, okay, I've made it. Do you feel like an exhale with that?
Well, I mean, yeah, because the thing about it is that it was nominated for an Oscar, but it was nominated for something that was dope. You know how sometimes you get nominated or people get nominated and the character be a little off? Like something that ain't really cool. Right. This was something that everybody could rally around. It was the music. Right. The Ray was a G. He was dropping gems. He was saying things like, hey, you know what? I'm gonna make it do what it do, baby. I mean, it was all these things that was coming out. So it was a moment in time that we all enjoyed, and it was black. You know, it was for us.
Mm-hmm.
It was like
Yes, sir.
but at the same time, it was universal. And Dave Brown sitting here right here. Show your face, Dave. Yo. Yeah, you okay.
Breon, what up? Is that your Breon?
That's Dave. What up, Dave?
no, that's Dave.
That's
I'm
Dave.
fucking with you.
Breon is Breon.
Breon dances somewhere.
No.
That's what I was fucking with you.
Yeah, Breon is Breon. That's Dave is Dave and Breon is Breon.
But the world know Breon now. Shout out Breon because he was definitely doing his thing.
Breon, baby. Can't go lie. But you know what? We kept it, man. During that time, man, we kept it so us. Like we was partying with people, man. Like as a matter of fact, after the end of the when we got the Oscar, right? We didn't go to the governor's ball. Dave threw a party for us, and we went over this way with the black folks, went in the party. Motherfuckers grabbed the Oscar out of my hand, was taking pictures with that shit, and we was smoking the whole nine.
Right.
Nigga shit, taking pictures and shit. I lost the motherfucker. And I saw the Oscar. It was so much weed in the motherfucking party. The Oscar was high, and nigga lost his motherfucking bass and shit. He was, damn, man, I know Denzel didn't do this shit with his. It was crazy.
Hell yeah. Well, let's take it back to really where it all started. Born Eric Marlon Bishop, a Texas boy.
Government.
Texas
Who
boy.
is that guy?
Texas boy.
Yeah, man, Texas, man. Yeah, Steve, you know what's that? You know what's about? Back in the day when I had that California curl.
Yes, sir.
Hey, talk to him a little bit, though. I read on how you changed, the reason why you changed your name. Tell our fans what the reason behind changing from, your government name to Jamie.
Yeah, what happened was that in L.A., it was like open mic night. So like I went on as Eric Bishop at the Comedy Store. And that's back in the day where like on Monday nights, bro, it was crazy. You see different people out. You see like the young Tupac out. You see everybody out. Everybody would come out on Monday. That's a trip. You know what I'm saying? We didn't know we was hanging with legends. You see young Tupac out. I remember Tupac was hanging and we was like, damn, that's the nigga Pop, whatever. And I get on stage, right? When I get on stage, like I see, like, I'm straight from Texas, Steve. I didn't know LA, but everybody was dressed in blue. I was like, what the fuck is these motherfuckers?
Your pants probably still starched down.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I didn't know what the fuck, nigga. But everybody was dressed in blue, Steve. But it was Crips.
Right.
It was like, I didn't know what it was, And they said, nigga, that's the Crips. I said, what the fuck? So
what the fuck?
They say they come to this motherfucker, all the time. So what I did was I was watching the room. And I went up and I did all of my impersonations, but I did them like if they was a Crip. Like what if Mike Tyson was a Crip? So what's up when Mike Tyson weight boxing champion? What's up, Crip? Motherfuckers was going crazy and shit, right? And so after I get like this standing ovation, I come back the next week and they wouldn't let me on the stage because the comedians were running the list. So like for like a few weeks, I couldn't get back on. I was like, damn, what the fuck? So I go to this one Santa Monica Improv, and I noticed that every time they had a open mic night, it'll be a gang of dudes there, right? And only like 5 girls, but the 5 girls will always get on stage. So what I did on the list, I wrote down all these unisex names like Stacey Green, Tracy Brown, Jamie Foxx, and the dude picked Jamie Foxx because I was at this other place. He said, Jamie Foxx, is she here? I said, yo, that's me. So I go on stage that night. He's like, that's you? I said, yeah, nigga, that's me right here. Jamie, nigga, what's up? So
what's up?
I go on stage, I hit him with the Cosby, Bill Cosby, the Crip and the Dodgers, all that shit. I hit him. And I was the only nigga doing I was doing Ronald Reagan impersonation, the only black dude. Well, as a matter of fact, I crip, right? Killing the shit. So now they shooting Eden at the Improv at that time, and I have a great set, get a standing ovation, and so they like, yo, that's that new kid, Jamie Foxx. And so that's when it stuck. And I had to get used to the name because they was like yelling out my name, said Jamie, but I wasn't paying no attention to them, so the niggas thought I was stuck up, but I had just got used to the name, you know what I'm saying? So that's how I changed the name up.
That's dope. And then the rest is history.
That's crazy.
Yeah, man.
Talk to us a little bit present day. I mean, we locked up right now. How are you and the family? What you got going on? The new norm, what's that for you?
Man, listen, man, I consider consider myself blessed at this time because, you know, my whole family is healthy. When it first jumped off, I said, I got a feeling. You know, I'm a Texas boy. I said, I got a feeling about this. I said, let's all get in the same place. So all 12 of us got in the same place. We hunkered down. We got what we needed. And we've been safe, man. But, you know, your heart goes out to everybody else,
right.
man. And I try to tell people all the time that even when it comes to our political figures, right, I try to, because, you know, we be on the phone with these guys. And, you know, and I know everybody. I done gigs for Republicans. I done gigs for Democrats. I'm a Democrat myself. But all I've been saying on the phone is just think about the common man. Just think about the common man. Constantly, like, put yourself in, like, you know, everybody don't have. So in these next few weeks, it's really critical that we get the right information, especially when it comes to us, when it comes to black folks, you know, because we're being misled, and we're also being affected more than anybody. So, you know, we're trying to stay calm, trying to keep that word out, trying to keep that positive energy, and trying to think about, you know, the person that's really out there struggling, bro.
Straight up.
Thanks. How much you miss sports? I know you play a lot. I know sports has been a big part of your life. How much you missing sports right now?
Bro, Steve, it's killing. If we had to lock, if there's one thing that's killing in the lockdown, it is not being able to watch. Nigga, the basketball shit was heating up. It was so crazy.
It was time. It was time.
Bro, think about what King James had just did.
Yes.
Them 3 games where he lumped Milwaukee,
Clippers.
the Clippers.
Yep.
Who else he lumped?
Denver. I think it was Denver after that.
In Denver.
Yep.
He was on some shit.
He was on some shit. He was on some remarkable shit at the year 17. So I was just watching that like, man, I can't wait for this shit to play out. So you missing that, and now you're wondering, are they gonna be able to? I'm sure y'all know, are they gonna be able to come back?
Sure, we don't.
You know, that's what
we don't know.
Damn. But that was, to me, that was like, it was at the right time. I was like, everybody on their game, and it was like the big boys was out to see Kawhi, to see
Greek freak.
Greek freak. That's what I'm saying. Bonjour.
Nigga said bonjour.
Bonjour. Now I'm babyface, nigga, all in the camera. Shit, nigga, I done fucked that up. I did say that to him one time. I fucked up. I thought the motherfuckers were friends. I said, bonjour. He said, what do you say, man? I know you from somewhere over there, nigga. That's all I know.
Hey,
But yeah, man, miss it.
Yeah, no, big part. I mean, like you said, it's the best time, right? I mean, obviously the playoffs would be going on right now, but like you said, there was so much parity in the league this season, and so many people wanted to see what that Laker-Clipper playoff matchup was going to be like. So I hope we could hopefully get there. Jack, you all right over there, bro?
Yeah, man, this motherfucker crazy. Man.
Bonjour, Jack. Hey, but I got a feeling, Jack. Hey, man, let's get into it. I got a feeling, though, he was about to make some history, man. Let me ask y'all this, though. A player that's playing someone like LeBron James, and now I'm watching the Michael Jordan documentary. The question is, how hard is it now playing sports in a world with social media where the narratives are so crazy? Because when I look at Michael, he was so heralded, man, and well-deserved. Do you think, I mean, how would have played out in modern day times if we'd have had social media? That's
a great question.
Jordan will be bigger. He'll be 10 times even bigger. Like the D-Wade say, Jordan was chosen to be the GOAT. Like, he didn't ask to be the GOAT. He was chosen to be the GOAT. But if they would have had social media and all this technology when MJ was coming up, he'll be 10 times bigger than what he is now.
And here's the question, though. Would it be controversy as well? Because when I look at it, like the guys that play now, they don't get that love like they normally do.
No.
It's always
hate.
It's
always
something
hate.
It's a lot. It's always a hate. Because I'm looking at LeBron like he's in his 17th year, putting up these type of numbers. Anybody to do anything for 17 years good, some motherfuckers get a plaque or get, you know what I'm saying? Niggas give him some kind of shit. But he gets a lot of controversy. Why is that?
Because I just think it's easier today to show. It takes a strong man to show love. You know what I mean? And I think you made a great point. There's distractions back then. There's no doubt, and they're the rock stars, biggest team in the world. But at the same time, there wasn't. We just did an interview with Bradley Beal, talking about how the media tried to put him and John Wall against each other when they're actually good friends, like brothers. You know what I mean? So to think if the media if social media would have been able to get in that locker room with the shit that was going on with Pippen, because obviously Mike felt a certain way about it. You know what I mean? And Pitt had his reasons. You know what I mean?
Right.
So what if social media got their hands on that and threw that shit around? Could that have possibly caused a friction in their relationship or friendship or their chemistry? So that's a great question.
It would have fucked it up, don't you think, Jack?
Yeah,
Because, I mean, I don't see how these guys, like, man, you know, like, I'm sensitive, too. Like, a motherfucking comment to tear your ass up. You be ready to tear your computer up and shit.
Yeah.
How would they have dealt with all of that, Jack?
But that shit affected Bron and Kyrie. You know, the media affected that. And just imagine if they would have stayed together. But me, personally, with Bron, all this chatter, it don't matter to him, because before all this chatter, when Bron was a teenager, Bron was sitting there thinking in his own mind, I want to be better than Jordan. I want to be the best to play the game. So everything that's being said now, or has been said to him in year 17 after all he's done, it don't matter, because his goal was set in his own mind, not based off what other people think.
Right. Top five. Who your point guard, Steve? Top 5 all time. Who your point guard? I do this all the time. Top five.
My point guard would be LeBron James.
Ooh. Matt, what you think?
I got
Top 5.
I got Magic's my point guard.
Magic point guard. All right, 2. Who 2? My point guard be LeBron too. 2.
I'm going Jordan.
I got Jordan in my 2.
I got Kobe at my 3.
Kobe at my 3.
Wow. Kobe at my 3. Go ahead.
I got Tim Duncan at my 4.
Tim Duncan at your 4.
I got KD at my 4.
I was about to say KD at my 4. Now here's the thing. 5.
I'm gonna change, because I had a different order. The other day, but I'm changing. My 5 is Shaq.
Yeah, that's who I had. I'm going with Diesel at 5.
Shaq Diesel at 5. Now here's the thing. Now let's do eras, because that's mine for the new era. What about the old era?
Old era. I'm going with Mo Cheeks.
Mo Cheeks. I'm going with Magic.
I'm still taking Magic. 2,
you know what?
I'm still taking.
No. Hold on. I take mine back. I'm going Isaiah.
Oh, good call.
Oh, okay. Good call. I'm going Magic 1. Who we going 2?
I got Jordan still.
Jordan 2 for sure.
3.
We going back now. We going back. I'm gonna go.
No. You can use. No, I'm saying the rules, like rules, like different rules, like like this era.
I let Jordan have his. I'm going George Gervin.
Ooh. I'm gonna go LeBron at 3.
Ooh, 3. I'm going to go Bernard King.
Ooh.
You going old school on them, huh?
Yeah.
Fuck, I'm going with Pip.
Nice.
Pip?
Nice.
Ooh.
Actually, hold on. I'm gonna take Pip back. Excuse me. I'm gonna go Grant Hill at my 3.
Okay.
Ooh.
Okay. All right.
I need Bird in there.
That's your 3?
Forward?
Or 3 or 4?
4.
Okay.
Your 4. Oh, that's a nice one.
Bird at the 4 is a nice stretch 4.
I'm going at the 4. I'm going, boy, that was tough. That was Bird.
That's something else. French lick.
Yeah, I know, right? I got to go Bird, too.
I'm like, there you go, Bird.
I gotta go Bird.
Now 5.
I'm going with McHale.
McHale at 4.
At the
okay,
4.
all right. Shoulders.
McHale, or actually, excuse me, Barkley. I got Barkley at my 4.
Ooh,
nice. There you go.
Bizzalard.
There you go.
Bizzalard.
Yeah, I got Barkley.
Ernie. That's what I'm saying, Ernie said. Just terrible. Just terrible, Ernie. Just terrible. It's terrible, Ernie. 5.
Who you got?
I got Kareem Abdul.
That's a tie, yeah.
I ain't got no choice. I'm going with Wilt.
I'm going with Elijah one, since I picked Shaq earlier.
Oh, the dream.
Oh, the dream. Footwork.
They sleep on the dream.
Oh man, do they ever? We touched on it a little bit ago, but what are your thoughts on seeing this Last Dance documentary? Because I think we're spoiled today with everyone just getting to see everything about athletes, entertainers, whatever. It wasn't that way. Like we just touched on, it wasn't that way. So now we're getting to see almost a social media look at behind the scenes of how great that team was. But like you said, we're slowly but surely finding out there are some chinks in the armor. What are your thoughts about what you've seen so far?
Well, you know what it is? I think that in today's world, had this documentary came out, there was no social media, we would be able to watch it and take it in. Mm-hmm. The problem is, once it comes out, social media, now look at Scottie Pippen, what he got to deal with because they talking about his money. Mm-hmm. So now, they making memes, and so it's sort of hard for today's world to accept it. Now, me being from back at that time, or not back at the time, but I mean being old enough to have seen those games, I appreciate it in a different way because I'm like, damn, I finally get a chance to hear Michael talk about Scotty. You know what I'm saying? I thought that was the one bright, because everybody was shit on Scotty, be like, Scotty wasn't shit, he wasn't in. Michael did it all on his own. I said, yo, man, y'all tripping. Scottie Pippen was one of the coldest motherfucking assassins ever. And I said, and without him...
There's no Jordan legacy.
Watch it. Exactly. Here's the thing. You guys know this. It's about being comfortable. If somebody can make your job easier, whether you playing basketball or whether I'm in a movie with great actors, when somebody can lift your shoulders, where Michael ain't got to worry about guarding the main player so you can save his leg, because you know you need Michael for that triangle offense. Anytime you got somebody alleviate that type of pressure from Pippen,
Ron Harper.
Yeah, Ron Harper, Tony Kukoc, these guys were Hall of Famers. And so when you look at that, now you're able to see, because, you know, they're going to give you 10 parts, but you're able to see what allowed Michael Jordan to be Michael Jordan. And those guys were super important.
Absolutely.
So I'm glad that they're getting that shine, taking nothing from Michael, because, you know, that's come on, man, that's Rembrandt. You can't say it's the GOAT. But they have to understand, and I'm glad they're showing it now, that it was a lot of help in that, man, because the days, look, a lot of times we see highlights and we see the greatest of the great, but we don't see those times when we struggle. And I think that's what's great about it, when you see the struggle.
Just wanted to say this. It felt good to see the quote from Mike saying, you can't talk about Michael Jordan without Scottie Pippen. I think to reiterate what he said, it felt good to finally see that quote and see Mike say that.
Yeah, man, because I know for Scottie, man, think about being Scottie, just being like, damn, you know, they don't never say, they don't never.
He's stupid.
They got the greatest voice in the world. Yeah. Central Arkansas.
This nigga
he got a woofer on his throat.
Yeah.
I had to turn the bass off my TV when Scotty was on. Hey, you know.
Boy, I got 6x9s on his throat.
Hey, man.
But back to your point, I think the crazy part is just because we say Mike had help doesn't lessen Mike's greatness. You know what I mean?
Not at all. It's just that Mike, you know, look, a lot of times, you know, like the tough things now is even talking about who would you pick? But, you know, Mike's his whole brand is so huge. It's hard to have a conversation about just basketball. So I'm glad they got a chance to show just the basketball.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, I think it's important because Skip Bayless said something today that Scotty wasn't one of the greatest. He wasn't this, he wasn't that. And to me, Mike's legacy, Mike will still be great regardless. If he had Pip, he would be great. But like you said, he lessened the burden. But then there's no titles without Pip. And when we talk about legacy, we talk about winning championships. So Mike is a great player. There's no knock on that, obviously, the greatest of all time. Yeah. But when we talk about legacy, and Mike said it in his own words, like there's no Mike without Pip. You know what I mean? So I'm glad that people are finally getting to see how important Pip was, because like I said, us, you know, we're in our 40s now. We know how motherfucking important and how good Pip was.
Yeah. Yeah, man. But you can't listen to Skip. See, that's the other thing. See, that's why I fuck with y'all, man. Skip and them be trying to get headlines, man, and just say that wild shit. That's why Shannon be on that Skip. Shannon be on his Skip. There you go. Skip. Now Skip.
All day, that's all he say, all day, all show.
I mean, counting how many times he said Skip. Now Skip.
That's all he say, bro.
But you know, you can't listen to them. I don't listen to them. I listen to y'all, man, because, you know, y'all played it. Y'all know it.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Hey, pivoting back to sports, though, I know sports probably started in your childhood. Can you talk to us about that?
Hey, man, you know, in Texas, man, it was everything, man. Like, playing football was our thing. Like, we didn't have no basketball team coming up. Like, and I just didn't I see some football clips, man?
Yeah, that was my thing. I had to show. Yeah, Jack was hating on me. Football is my first sport, so I feel you. I played football in the street growing up. That was my shit.
Yeah, so you understand how it was, man. Football in Texas was everything, man. Yeah. So, like, you know, like I remember like being a sophomore, getting on the varsity team, and that was big back then. You know, to be a sophomore, and I remember finally getting on the team, and I had worked all summer. My father was a coach. He coached at another school, at Lincoln High School, but I worked all summer, and I didn't get picked up. Dallas Lincoln, baby. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't get picked up, and I was in Terrell. And then finally, like, somebody couldn't play. Like, one of the quarterbacks couldn't play. We ran a 3-quarterback thing. the coach came out there and while I was in my, like we was having tour days, just,
I got a spot for you over in the other locker room if you want it.
so I went over, I couldn't believe it. It was like the Cosby Kids. I said, nigga, I'm on varsity. And then I walked in, dog, and it taught me about just being able to be on another level, like to really strive. So I walked in and they had carpet on the floor, dog. You know, like I was like, damn, they got carpet on the floor. So I walked in, I'm looking at the carpet, and all of a sudden, dog, I just passed out. Just passed the fuck out. And the reason I passed out, because one of the guys on the team, Keith Henderson, who was like a blue chip, had hit me in the solar plex, knocked me out. I said, wake the fuck up, sophomore. What the fuck you doing with your goddamn shoes on the carpet and shit? I was like, what? And then all the seniors, you know, was hazing me and shit like that. And it was just like a feeling that you couldn't imagine, bro. They hazed me and shit, but then when I got out there on the team, at being 15, bro, I ended up starting on the team.
Oh, that's crazy.
Got a super interception on a scrimmage. You had to go scrimmage McKinney lines. And the one thing I knew all my plays and shit, but they had marched all the way down the field. They ran a little bootleg. I stepped in front of them, got the interception. Bro, my whole life changed. And when people talk about, I caught the motherfucking interception, bro, and I went from being sophomore to Eric Bishop, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it was like, people ask me what's the biggest moment in my life? And that was the biggest moment. Getting that interception, proving to these motherfuckers that I could do it. And then from then on, man, I became the quarterback my junior year. Then I went to pass for over 1,000 yards my senior year with a 21 interception. But, you know, it was crazy.
You was Jameis Winston before Jameis Winston?
Yeah, it was kind of bad. Because I was a stat stuffer. I had a newspaper stats in my pocket. I need 9 more yards. I need to get these yards. We were losing, But yeah, man, but sports was everything. And then I went to state in the high jump. I was 5'7", 5'8", but I was jumping 6'6".
Okay.
Yeah,
and then you played some hoop too, right?
Yeah, but that was later, man. Like our hoop team was terrible. You know, like how you go to basketball gyms and they got the banners of the championships? Our banner said welcome.
That's it.
That's it.
Oh, you had to say.
No, we was terrible, but you know.
Dallas Lincoln had all the basketball banners because
Lincoln had the basketball players.
Yeah, we was Port Arthur Lincoln and Dallas Lincoln. We played against Dallas Lincoln a lot in the state championship, but Port Arthur Lincoln and Dallas Lincoln, we both got a lot of championships.
Yeah, man, and Port Arthur with that track, you motherfuckers could fly, bro.
Jamal Charles.
They don't know Jack.
Yeah, that's Jamal Charles right there.
And the boys is running from the cops. Got him on the track. He did some good. That's all it was.
That's hilarious.
Best way to get fast, steal something.
Yeah,
They're not going to catch your ass.
Moving.
You were in a band back then too, right?
Man, shit, I was in all kinds of bands. Me and my boys had a band called Excalibur, dog. Niggas, we was trying to get on Excalibur, some shit like cassette tape days, man. You know, but I remember we was like at the little talent shows and shit at the school, man. You know, had my curl and shit.
You used to have. I question because Dion said his shit was dry. Was your curl wet or dry?
My shit was dry, dog.
Was
you know
it?
Why? I didn't use the Stay Soft Fro. I used some shit called Hollywood Curl. So it was like a cream. You put that motherfucker in there, and then it stayed dry. So when girls see me, I used to tell them I was Dominican. You know what I'm saying? Because I thought this shit was real. Domenico, me estás escuchando. And, you know what I'm saying? They had to keep your shit dry. If the shit too wet, it's like So I had the Hollywood Curl.
Yes, you had a curl that could have been on the side of one of them boxes. You had a real curl back then. That shit was clean.
Listen to me.
I want number 7.
Let me tell you. Nigga, let me tell you something. It's better than that. I had the picture of them niggas ready for the world, and I took it into the shop. I said, I need this right here, dog. I need Melvin Riley. Riley from Ready for the World. So they put the shit in my shit. I had it was low in the front, long in the back. It shit like a Z28.
This nigga say Melvin Riley.
Melvin Riley. It looked like a Z28. Because I had the low and the long. So, nigga, Ready for the World, come to Reunion Arena. I got tickets, dog. Row 6.
You right up in the mix.
I swear to God, when Melvin Riley came out, he looked at me and said, because I did like this. I said, yeah, nigga, you see this. You know what I'm saying? Curl.
Swinging, sitting, looking good.
All the way. Hell yeah.
Recognize
and then when I finally got it... And what was crazy is, man, I finally get on, and Melvin Riley came to my house.
Really?
I said, motherfucker, I said, yeah, that's how great God is, man. It's like I ended up getting on and then having him at the crib. I said, man, you don't remember me? He's like, no, I don't remember that.
Remember I had your curl in row 6?
Mm-hmm. All that. But you know, the music was everything, man. Music, I was always just trying to get into the music, you know, playing, writing songs and shit, and, you know, singing Lionel Richie songs back in the day. You know, to the girls, hello, all them shits. You know, I was just mimicking everything. And then now it's crazy how now these people, like, are in my cell phone. You know what I'm saying? It's like blessings like you can't believe.
So you went to college to study music, performing arts. When did you get into the stand-up comedy gig?
When I got to San Diego doing music, I was in a college, like international college. It was 81 different countries that were represented in my school. So I would do the music in San Diego, but I would drive up to LA, do the comedy clubs, or I would do La Jolla, the comedy store down in La Jolla, and I was only 18, so I couldn't get in the club. So they would make me wait outside the club, you know what I'm saying, and then bring me in, let me do my stand-up. So I was constantly like, you know, since I was clowning, since I was a kid, you know, I was constantly like working on my, working on the craft. And I got in early, and that was the big thing, was like using the college as a sort of like a landing pad. But since LA was only, you know, an hour and a half away, I would come up here and get it popping. And then my uncle was assistant chief of police of school districts named Mel Brown. He said, I know you sang and stuff. I said, yeah. He said, you come on up here and I want you to meet Harvey Fuqua. I said, who that? He said, that's Marvin Gaye's manager. So I'm thinking, I don't know no goddamn Marvin Gaye, man. This nigga full of shit. Fuck out of here, man. I'm drunk. So he give me an address, and then he's a joking motherfucker, so I'm thinking it's a fake address. But I get there, it's in Brentwood, and when I look on the mailbox, it says Dorothy, Gay, and Freeman, and knock on the door, and Harvey Fuqua comes to the door, this big black dude. He said, you the one that sang? I said, yeah. He said, come on in. So when I went in the apartment, I looked to the left, and it was these reel-to-reels and keyboards and shit. And he said, you see that? I said, yeah. He said, that's Marvin Gaye's keyboards, the last thing he played before he died. And bro, I sat down, started playing, and the dude was like, yo, man, you got it. And so I started like singing and shit like that, and he started having me come to the crib, and I was trying to get on. At one point, it got a little weird because he was having me singing Marvin Gaye songs all the time, having people come over. And I was like, yo, man, I know you missing Marvin and stuff, but I wanna get my own thing. He said, oh, I apologize, man. He said, you know, we had just lost him not too long ago. I said, cool. So I basically became like his assistant, like filing stuff for him so I could just stay around the house. And bro, this is a crazy story. At one point, I was filing these cassette tapes, right? And I picked up one cassette tape just seeing what was on it, and I pressed play, and it was the original of Sexual Healing.
Wow.
And I'm like, damn, nigga, it's 4 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, I could take this shit and get some money for this shit. And I said, nah, I ain't gonna do that. I went and woke him up. I said, man, you gotta tell me about this. He said, yeah, man, I got a lot of them cassettes. We was working on something. I said, tell me about that night, man. He said, this is what it was. Marvin was in the studio. It's like 4 o'clock in the morning. And I'm like, Marvin, man, let's go, man. It's late, you know? And he had connected all these little, these tape machines together working on this track. And he said, yeah, I know it's late. He says, but where's Marilyn? He said, man, Marilyn's asleep right here on the couch, man. Let's go. And he goes, get up, Marilyn. Wake up, Marilyn. Get up, Marilyn. He said, nigga, I got it. Run the tape back. Boom, get up.
Oh, that's crazy.
Bro, that's how crazy is that?
Insane.
So I call myself the Black Forrest Gump, bro, because I've just been like in every nook and cranny of this business, and then, you know, shit worked out.
Talk to us a little bit how you landed that In Living Color role.
I had got on this one TV show called Rock, but for some reason they fired me. Some shit went down. I don't know what the fuck went down, but I got fired. And I had shot the pilot, and I told everybody in Terrell that I was going to be on the pilot. And when the pilot came out, you know, I wasn't on there. So my grandmother thought I was out here doing drugs or some shit. I was like, damn, I got to get this shit right. And so then the show In Living Color was looking for other comedians, and I went in to the cattle call. So it went from 100 to 50 to 25 to 10 down to 5. So it was me and 4 other cats, right? And to be honest, during the audition part, I was blowing that shit. I wasn't doing good. But then Keenan said, look, I want to see y'all do stand-up. And I was like, oh shit. And the other 4 people didn't do stand-up comedy. So they had this when the Laugh Factory first started. So I go down to the Laugh Factory, but I was late on purpose because I wanted to go last. So when I go up, you know, like in the hood, you always play your music because that's where I came from, like Robin Harris and hood. So I told her, I was like, I got my music and shit. I had it queued up. But the Laugh Factory was more like the white place. So I said, play the music. They didn't play the music. I was like, oh, shit. So I went up there and just started freestyling some shit. And in the audience was Keenan and Jim Carrey and the Fly Girls.
Damn.
But I did this one joke, bro. And it was about, I said, black and white people, black and white men, the only difference is the heartbeat. Because the average black man, the average white man's heart beats like this. Right? While the average black man's heart beats like this. They going crazy, bro. And then I said, ladies, that's why when you making love, I'm not saying who's better, but who would you rather make love to? Somebody like this? Or would you rather make love to? Standing ovation, bro. I saw Keenan, everybody going crazy, man. They was like, oh, I seen the Fly Girls. And boom, I was on the show.
Where did you get the motivation for some of the characters you've made your career off of?
Wanda.
Oh man, hey man, listen. You know what? Wanda came from just, you know how a motherfucker run out of time.
I know a girl look like Wanda. I grew up with her.
So you take all them girls that you grew up with and that type of shit, and you bring them up, man. You know how Texas is, man, and all wherever I've been. But that came from one night I had ran out of material, and I just said, hey, all the pretty girls make some noise. Pretty girls clapping. I said, now, all the ugly girls, let me hear you say something. And there was complete silence. I said, man, look at all the other girls talking about, hey, he ain't talking about me, hell no. Boom. So it started like that. I did that character at the audition. So when Keenan said, hey, man, do that motherfucking ugly girl that you do for one of the shows. So he reached in his bag, bro, found this blonde ass wig, popped the shit on, bro, and it was like, hey, I'll rock your world, nigga.
It was over.
And but I needed that because if you think about it, Living Color and all those characters that they were doing at the time, you needed to get a character off. If not, they was gonna fire you.
You had to.
Yeah, because it's just like any basketball team. You was gonna get cut. So that character took off, man, and then like it took off, and I loved it. But then I had to shed that shit because, motherfuckers was, like the girls shit. Niggas was coming up to me in clubs like, "Yo, nigga, you the bitch." I said, "Hold on, bro. Chill." You know what I'm saying?
Back up a second.
I remember. This is crazy. I remember Johnny Gill said something one time and go, "Hey, nigga, you that girl?" I said, "Hey, nigga, hey, my nigga, hold on, nigga." So I didn't want to get stuck in the motherfucker. So, I just had to keep coming up with other characters so I could keep hitting motherfuckers with different shit. Mm-hmm. So, they say, I don't just do her, I do all these motherfuckers.
Yeah.
How instrumental was Keenan Ivory Wayans, not only for Living Color, but launching and giving guys like yourself, Jim Carrey, David Allen Greer, Tommy Davidson, that platform to go on. If you think about that cast, I'm sure you've done it, but all you guys went on to long, successful longevity in whatever profession, whatever realm you wanted to do.
Compared to that coach that was really hard on you, I remember Keenan saying, listen, you got to prove yourself. Maybe I don't think you're as funny as everybody else. But at the same time, what he did was, when you walk on the set, bro, it was all black people. Mm-hmm. Black writers, black people working. I said, damn, am I in the right spot? It was all black, but he held that shit here. You had to be absolutely airtight. But what it was, man, he had his finger on the culture, bro. He knew the music. He had the Fly Girls. But every time we went out to do some jokes, like we would come to Keenan and say, yo, man, we don't think the writers is writing funny. And I said, yes, they are. Y'all motherfuckers just ain't trying. And he would take whatever that was written. He would look through that shit. He said, go try this. And the next thing you know, bro, we were the talk of the town on that Monday morning. Mm-hmm. So it's like he would constantly put us in competition with each other. Tommy Davidson killing that shit. David Allen Greer killing that shit. Everybody was killing. And what he did was he made it sexy. It was like everybody came to the show. J-Lo was on the show. I remember seeing J-Lo the first time I saw J-Lo. I said, hey, man, I'm not hitting on you. You're the most beautiful person in the world. I said, I got a girl. I said, but congratulations. And she was just killing that shit. And so we became friends. And then, like, if you think about it, back at the time, every hip-hop star, he was seeing the future. All the hip-hop was coming to In Living Color. Yep. Yeah, man, you had Teddy Riley was there.
Das Effects.
Das Effect, everybody. So he taught you how to be fly with your shit. Like, you could be funny, but at the same time, be super fly. Bro, that was 91, 92. You know what I'm saying? So to this day, we still rocking, man. And those guys are still doing their thing. And it's because of those early lessons.
Shout out Keenan Ivory Wayans, because I don't think we hear him mentioned enough to what he gave to the game. One of the legends.
Bro, he put all that shit together, and he had a motherfucker nervous, dog. Look, we supposed to be there at 10. I got there at 9:59. That motherfucker pulled me out the meeting. Said, why you late? I said, it's 9:59. He said, no. No, we started working at 10. So you got to give me an answer. I said, like what? So you better figure it out. You can stand out here until you figure it out. Nigga, I'm outside. Damn, nigga, I got a principal? Like, what the fuck? And so I would just sleep on the set so I wouldn't be late. Because, I come out the club. I was Allen Iverson. I come out the club, nigga.
This nigga's crazy.
I was AI, and we talking about practice. We talking about practice. I'm supposed to be franchise player. Like, nigga. So I would just go straight to the set and then just wake up, I'll be on time.
The Jamie Foxx show, something I watched. Fancy Braxton, Mom and Pop. Talk to us how that came about and how you ended up getting that off the ground.
To be honest with you, bro, I had ran out of money. In Living Color was over. I remember, LA tough on you too.
Hell yeah.
I was riding, after In Living Color was over, I was riding, I had this little BMW with the top down, and I'm riding down the street like on Sunset or something, and I hear somebody say, that shit over, motherfucker. I was like,
damn.
Harsh, right?
That shit over, motherfucker.
So, that shit over, motherfucker. I was like, God damn. It was bad, bro. And I remember, like, Chris Tucker was coming up. I remember Chris Tucker was coming young. I was like, God damn, these niggas is hitting. I remember this girl ran up to me. She says, oh, my God. I'm like, what's up? She said, do you know where Chris Tucker is? I said, oh, shit. What the fuck? So I had moved to Vegas, bro, because I ran out of money. And then this network called the WB was starting their network. And so I went in and met with them and said, I got this idea. And people probably have to Google this, but there was this English television show called Faulty Towers with John Cleese. And it was like the Benny Hill and all them type of
Benny Hill, yeah. I remember Benny Hill.
Yeah, all them. So I saw that hotel show. I said, hey, man, I want to do a show like that where my uncle and aunt run a hotel, and I come to work there. And by having a hotel, we can have different people fall through there. You know what I'm saying? And so they was like, okay, cool, we dig it. We just trying to get going. So they gave me the opportunity. And bro, I remember the upfronts. You got to go to the upfronts to announce your show. Bro, I didn't even have a limo. It was like, I went to get in the limo, and some lady slapped my hand. That's not for you. That's for Savannah or some other show. Nigga didn't have no limo. Nigga put me in a van. I was like, oh, shit. Riding it up. That plain white panel van? I said, damn, nigga. So finally the show come out, though. Bro, it did Seinfeld numbers. It did like 14 or something like that. And then it just caught, And then Fancy came from the R. Kelly video, Garcelle Beauvais, Sac Passe Nabule, Braxton, of course, Garrett Morris and all them. And you don't know when you're doing it, bro, but it just all came together, and it became like this thing that people, gravitated to, man, and it was on.
Absolutely. I love that shit. That was dope. 96, Jerry Maguire movie comes out. You went out for Rod Tidwell. They ended up giving it to Cuba Gooding Jr. How bad did you want that role? Because that was a dope movie.
Bro, it was crazy because, the dude saw me read for it and says, he's gonna love it. I said, who? TC, Tom Cruise is gonna love it. I said, what? So, bro, I ended up reading with Tom Cruise. They flew me to New York, but, I wasn't used to seeing no big stars and shit, So in the reading, bro, I'm reading the shit, and, I'm from TV, so I was reading kind of loud. And then I was like, yeah, show me the money. You know what I mean? Looking at Tom Cruise like, yeah, show me. You know what I mean? And Tom Cruise, you know, he a movie actor, so his voice was soft. He said, so I couldn't hear him, so I thought he had lost his place. I said, we right here. He says, I know, I've already said my line. I'm waiting on you. I said, oh, shit. And then, you know, motherfucker got nervous and shit, started sweating. I blew it, and after I blew it, I was like, damn, I know I blew this shit. The little producer was mad at me. And then Cuba Gooding got it, right? But then when Collateral came up, Tom Cruise remembered that, him and Michael Mann, and boom, he liked the reading, and boom. And so, you know, what ended up being Lemons turned out being Lemonade because we did Collateral, and we actually get nominated for Collateral. So, you know, just hanging in there, man, you know, making that shit pop. I was like, man, I can't miss them free throws like that because I miss the free throws, dog.
Straight up.
I miss that motherfucker.
Any Given Sunday, 99.
One of my favorites.
Yeah, how did that role come about?
Did that shit start? Shit start your sophomore year when you got punched in the solar plex? You was training to be Willie Beeman?
I didn't even know, man, but it was crazy. It was crazy because Oliver Stone directed it, and basically Puffy was supposed to play the part, but Puffy was, you know, he was dealing with big businesses and everything like that. And so Oliver Stone at one point, when I came in to read again, you know, he said I was horrible, bro, because I was like reading loud and shit. He says, fuck, you read so loud, this television shit is fucking me up. So what I did was, bro, I had just got that 97 coupe, that Mercedes. I got a camcorder, bro, put on my football gear, took all my homies out, and just started like I was in training camp, bro. And while we was doing the training camp shit, I came up with a song. My name is Willie Beeman. I keep the ladies creaming, and all the fans got them screaming. Think you can defeat me? You're dreaming. So we made this song up, and bro, I show him the tape. Oh, shit. That's who the fuck I'm looking for right now. That's who I want. Mm-hmm. So we started Any Given Sunday, bro, and we were shooting that shit in Miami. I didn't even get paid. All the money that I got, bro, I spent it in Miami. I was just...
I can believe it. That nigga came home.
Oh, my God, come on, bro.
Came home with nothing.
First time niggas, when absolute zero goose eggs, but dog, I had a ball. Niggas was in Miami with mesh shirts and Ferraris and shit. I was off the chain, man. And then you think about everybody that was in it. Al Pacino, Jim Brown, Lawrence Taylor,
LL, Dennis Quaid.
Dennis Quaid. Me and LL was fighting. That shit was real, nigga.
Talk to us about that, because I heard you touch on that shit. I heard there was some real shit going on with that.
Oh, no, I can't take that.
LL was in his feelings.
I can't take that right now.
LL was in his feelings on that one, but yo, what's up? What happened was, is that for some reason, like, he kept slapping me. I think he thought it was a little bit real in the movie. I was like, nigga, we not really on a fucking team. Like, we actors, my nigga. Like, nigga, we really don't have to get to practice. Like, nigga, we're going to say action. But, you know, but I think that's what made the movie real, because we was like really competitive, but we was doing a scene and the motherfucker pushed me in the scene, bro. And I swear to God, I landed in somebody else's set. I went back so far. I said, what the fuck? And so then it got testy, man, and we got to scrapping or whatever like that, you know. But,
Jamie say he woke up in Green Mile.
Nigga, I woke up in a whole nother set, nigga. I woke up in Jerry Maguire and said, why does big-ass nigga push me like this, man? No, this ain't a real movie.
Yeah, that shit was dope.
But, you know, we worked this shit out. We cool now, but at the time it was sort of goofy. But it fueled the scene, because when we was doing them scenes and Willie Beeman was going through his shit, that shit was real, man, because it's like, you know how it is, man. You get competitive.
Yeah.
You know, you get really competitive, and there was girls on the set.
You felt that energy.
And I was so wild. Every time I showed up to the set, I had a Hummer. I had a different car every time. You know, I was playing the whole role, had the girls in the car and shit showing up to the set. So I was out my fucking mind, bro. But it as far as just the acting goes, like that speech. Yeah. Everybody remember the Al Pacino speech, right? Yeah. Here's a fun fact. Al Pacino was having a tough time with that speech because he ain't never been around football. That's where I knew football. Mm-hmm. So when he was trying to get that speech off, I said, Al, when you talking to these players, they not your players. They your family. Mm-hmm. I said, a lot of these players come from the hood. They only father is you. Mm-hmm. So you got to talk to them like it's your father. Man, that motherfucker
turned up on you.
That motherfucker turned in. You fight! with your fingernails.
Oh, that's dope.
Every inch. That motherfucker, I said, God, that motherfucker killed that shit.
He did. He killed that shit. How was the football scenes, though? I know that had to be dope to shoot. How was the football scenes?
I wanted to do all of my stunts, right? So we would shoot all night, but they would shoot the football scenes during the day. So I would go sleep for like 2 or 3 hours and then go to the B team and then put the mic on when the director wasn't there and shoot my own football scenes because I didn't want nobody, I wanted it to be me. By doing that, I got the lion's share of the part because the way Oliver Stone wrote the movie is that he wrote it for everybody's narrative. But since I would go to both, man, I was working like 18 hours a day, bro. But I wanted to get that football right. And they didn't know that I could really throw that thing because I could throw the thing about 50, 60 yards in the air. Mm-hmm. So I was down there getting it, man, and it felt good. And it was like all that shit that we had in Texas, it all came into play. Yeah. Even when it came into, I said, hey, because sometimes they want to do a movie shit like, I want you to drop back and then do a spin. I said, they don't do that in the NFL. Drop back, you got a certain amount of time. We got to get the shit off. Mm-hmm. And so by having that background, it made it look authentic. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But the one thing I did do, though, I took a hit. They was like, you want to take a hit? I said, motherfucker, I don't give a fuck, man. Shit, motherfucker Texas, dog. Hit me, nigga. I don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? I ain't no motherfucking actor, nigga. I'm a real athlete, man. Just a little motherfucking safety. Came through my motherfucking... nigga, this part of my helmet, nigga, and I said, hey, man, anybody else hit me, they gonna get fired. Don't hit me no more. That motherfucker put my shit back here. So, you know, and it was crazy because T.O. was on that motherfucker. Mm-hmm. And T.O. was a beast.
Hell yeah.
They told T.O. said line, because, you know, it was pro football players against the Arena League guys. So T.O. was lining up all his DBs and said they could guard him. He was killing them. And at one point, they ran a reverse for T.O. And he ran off the set. This motherfucker so fast. And the motherfucking dude with the camera said, can you keep up with him? I got him. Just tell him to go. I got him. That motherfucker took off. That motherfucker's running, pulled both his hamstrings, dog.
Trying to chase him down with the camera.
Motherfucker blew out on the tires on the freeway. Bah, bah. And they said, T.O., we gonna have to have you slow down. T.O. said, shit, y'all better speed this shit up.
Speed that shit up.
You've played some amazing supporting roles leading up to obviously where you were the main star. You know, obviously Any Given Sunday, you played alongside Will Smith and Ali, Tom Cruise and Collateral. Yeah. Looking back on that, what does that mean to you and what resonates the most about all that?
I always give props to Will Smith. He wanted me to play Bundini Brown and Ali. Muhammad Ali's a prophet. How you going to be God's son? As soon as you come out the garage, you'd be number 2. But I wouldn't have had that opportunity had he not told the director, yo, I'm rocking with Fox or I don't do the film.
Damn.
And so, yeah, it's big. And you know, that don't happen in Hollywood, man. That don't happen in our business. So my main thing is that being those characters alongside those guys, I wanted to be that Scottie Pippen. I wanted to be that person because I knew that if Will Smith is doing Ali, especially with the Ali, because it was so important, and Will was such a big star and is such a big star, I was there to make sure that he didn't have to worry about what I was doing. This part of the movie is going to be solid. And you don't realize it, but you're hanging another character in the rafters. That's sort of like, if we're referring to basketball, all of my characters, when I look at them, man, if it's Wanda or Willie Beeman or Bundini Brown or all these characters, I hang them up. So whenever you get a chance to do the character on that type of level, I want to be able to look back at my career and say, man, I turned into all these different people and sold it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, I take that and now to this day, man, in our business, you know, as much as you put into it, you can continue to work and continue to find shit. So I feel like I'm still getting started.
Is 42 too late to start an acting career?
Man, it ain't never too late, man. Yeah. Come on, man. Jack, what you want to do, man?
Yeah,
the movie starring Steven Jackson.
Save it, Jack.
I Make Love to Pressure.
Yeah, there you go. And we're going to have a segment for that at the end. So, yeah, hold on. We're going to get to that, definitely. I love hearing that. To me, it's hard to embody when you're playing a public figure or another famous figure. You were able to do it, obviously, with Ray Charles. You mentioned you're working on a Mike Tyson movie as well. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, man. You know, when I went on stage in the hood, a comedy act theater, right? I started killing it as a young comedian, right? But one particular night, I'm on stage and I get to my Mike Tyson joke because that's my best joke. Everybody go crazy on that joke. And I get to that joke and I do it and nobody laughed. You know why?
He was in the building.
Because Mike Tyson's in the audience. Niggas out here. The nigga said, it was some nigga in the back said, yo, Mike is in here. I said, oh shit. And then everybody was like,
yo, Mike.
Stifled. And then the little black girl was in the front. Said, what you gonna do, Jamie? You scared? You gonna do your jokes? I'm like, bitch, shut up. 'Cause, this is when Mike was knocking motherfuckers out for just smiling and shit. And so I was like, damn. So then the dude yelled, I said, yo, Mike said, do the joke. And that shit better be funny. So the crowd went from looking at Mike and then looked at me. So I do the joke. Mike Tyson, Kentucky Fried Chicken, whatever the joke was, right? I think I did the joke. The joke was Mike Tyson driving. No, it was me driving up to Kentucky Fried Chicken. And I said, I couldn't see, but I heard, and I thought Mike Tyson was working at Kentucky Fried Chicken because I heard, hi, welcome to Kentucky Fried Chicken, man, take your order? And then so I was like, oh, shit. So standing ovation. And after that, Mike comes up to me and says, there he is, the crazy motherfucker, just punched me in the chest, like almost caved me in. So I started hanging out with Mike. And bro, he was bigger than the world. He was bigger than all the Mikes. The dude had a Lamborghini truck. We'd be at the club, he'd see a girl, he'd be like, hey, you like BMWs? You like cars? You like Beamers? And I'm like, what? And he would go to a BMW shop, just buy one. I've watched Mike his whole career. And then I watched the good, the great, the bad, and the ugly, and now this Mike. And so I said, Mike, you have to let me embody you. You have to let me tell your story. And so now Martin Scorsese, who hasn't done a boxing movie since Raging Bull, has agreed to take on the helm. And when we were talking about the movie, I said, what's interesting about Mike is not the ring now. It's the Mike that we see now. It's the Mike that when he lost it all. When I called Mike one time, I said, Mike, how you doing? And it's this voice. All praises to Allah, my brother. I'm just happy. I said, why are you happy? I'm happy. I don't have any money anymore. I don't have any money. I said, why you say that? Why does that make you happy? Because no one can take anything from me anymore. It's no vultures. Nobody has to try to take anything from me. So I'm just happy. I said, that's the person we got to show. The person who lived the life. And he'll tell you, I either live on top of the mountain or on the bottom of the ocean. I said, when we embody that, I said, and Mike, when I play you, I'm gonna embody you so well that when I walk into your house, your kids will run up and say, Dad's home. So it's gonna be one of those ones. That's and I'm telling you. And and you remember I don't want to give too much of it away, but a lot of it, we bounce back and forth to the documentary of him being in the documentary. So when I strap that one on, that's going to be something.
That's going to be
Man,
big.
I can't wait to see that.
When should we expect that in theaters, if theaters ever come back?
Yeah, well, the thing is now, by having this lapse, it gives us a little bit of time to correct some things that we want on the script so we be able to touch all those bases. But you're looking at 2021, at the beginning of it, shooting it, and then possibly at the end of the year, unveiling it. So, look, man, I think Mike's, come on, man. That era and that time,
I can't wait to see it.
It's unprecedented.
I can't wait. Yeah, I can't wait.
Let's talk a little. You touched on Ray Charles earlier, but being able to embody him the way you did, what kind of historical significance does that mean to you? Because he was so important to our culture as a whole, and for you to be able to embody that, how important was that to you?
I think it was super important because we don't always get a chance to tell our legend stories.
Right.
And so that was the first time we got a chance to see a legend in all of his glory, his good, his bad, and his ugly, and at the same time, present the music in a way to where the whole world was affected. I mean, and the backstory is that it was an independent film. So we got a little bit of the money from Phil Anschutz, who, owns the Staples Center. But we had to prove to him that it was worth it. So at one point, we created the Sanger Theater in 1967, and we did Let the Good Times Roll. It wasn't in the movie, but we had to do it for the investors to let them see it. So we had a 30-piece orchestra. The investors walk in, the director says, hit it, and we go, boom, hey, y'all, tell everybody, boom, Ray Charles in town. Boom, got $1.25, boom, and I'm just ready to clown. Don't let nobody play me cheap. I got 50 cents more than I plan to keep to let a good time roll. Spend, and spend. It don't matter if you're young or old, just get yourself together and let the good times roll. So
that shit is fucking crazy.
You are unbelievable, bro.
Oh man, Steve. Then I go up to the investor and say, hey, yeah, I understand the big pockets of money is here.
You sold him.
And so we get the money. Had to sell it. And then once we do the movie, man, think about how the movie moved the culture. After the movie, Kanye West.
Yeah.
Kanye West. After the movie, Kanye West. I mean, because going back to the parties that I was throwing, the way I met Kanye was at a party. Breon. Breon, that's why when people looking at Breon dancing, he just don't dance. He motherfucker put shit together.
Yeah.
The motherfucker brought that same party that I was telling you about, the Jay-Z and everything. The next party, Breon says, I got this dude named Kanye West. I said, what's a Kanye West? He said, listen, I'm telling you, nigga, this motherfucker cold. So when Kanye came over, I said, Breon, what do he do? He said, he rapped, he produced. I said, okay. So I walked up to Kanye. I said, hey, man, when people come to my house, man, they got to perform, man. They say, you rap. This motherfucker freestyle some shit, Matt, Steve. I said, God damn, nigga, how come you ain't famous? He says, I'm trying to get on. Then he goes, I got this song that I think you'd be good on. I think you'd be good on this song. And so, well, what is it? I got a studio in the back. So we go in the back of my studio, and the motherfucker say the song go, she say she wants some Marvin Gaye, some Luther Vandross. I said, oh, shit. I said, I got it. So I started singing the shit all high and shit. He said, and this one I knew Kanye was boss. He said, what you doing? I said, well, I'm trying to put the R&B shit on it because you don't sing R&B. I'm putting the R&B. He says, don't do that. Just sing the shit regular. So when he said that, I thought like, song ain't gonna make it. The next thing you know, Breon was like, remember that song you said you thought wasn't gonna make it? It's number one in the country. Fast forward, it's number one in the country. And then Ray Charles comes out. Breon hit me again and said, wake your ass up, wake your ass up, wake your ass up. He said everything 3 times. He said, get down here, Kanye got a missile. And this is after Ray Charles had came out. So I get to the studio and Breon said, just follow my lead, whatever you do. Follow my lead. So we go in there, and Kanye is playing the track to Gold Digger. I ain't saying she a gold digger, what? But she ain't missing. I said, oh shit. Breon hit stop on the record and said, that shit is whack unless you put Fox on that motherfucker. I said, Breon, what you doing? He said, nigga. He said, motherfucker, you know what I'm doing. Just get in the studio. So I get in the booth, bro, and we take over the session, and we keep going over and over. I said, run it back, shit. Run it back again. I said, run it. And then the next thing you know, about an hour and a half, she take my money. Well, I'm in need. Yeah, she's a trifling friend indeed. Oh, she's a gold digger. Well, but sound that digs on. And the rest is history.
Legendary shit.
Classic.
Black Forrest Gump.
Come on, man. At the 2005 Grammy Awards, you got a chance to perform Georgia on My Mind with Alicia Keys, obviously in a tribute to Ray Charles, who had recently passed. Tell us how special that moment was.
At that point, man, this is, movies have it's like it opens up like a flower. So that's when the flower was full bloom. Now we get a chance to celebrate Ray Charles' music on the highest level with the incredibly talented Alicia Keys. Quincy Jones at the time was a conductor, which was beautiful. We had lost Ray Charles. Ray Charles had transitioned, but he got a chance to view the movie in his own way. And so here we are, dual pianos with me and Alicia. And it was just great, man. She's amazing, so super talented. But there was one situation where I felt like the song, I felt like we were playing it, straight, but I felt like we needed to put a little sauce on it because it's Alicia and it's myself. So it's like, Georgia, Georgia, the whole day through, just like an old sweet song, Georgia on my mind, right? And I said, Alicia, why don't we take a page from Biggie when we do the bridge? Boom, 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 boom. Other arms reach out to me. Boom, 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 boom. So we put a little thing in there just to sort of nod, to the hip hop, to the young, yeah. And I said, and when we doing it, boom, 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 boom. And I told the bass line to go do-do-do-dum, 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 boom, 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 boom. So to be able to not only be in that moment, but do something a little special to nod to people out there who's, the fans. It was dope, man. We got a standing ovation, and it was just another one of those things that you can hang up in the rafters and say, man, another moment.
Beautiful.
Following Ray Charles, that was such a big role. Were you picking your next projects carefully? Like what changed after Ray Charles?
It was crazy, man. Like Ray Charles was such a big film, and the Oscar and everything like that. I had to let the Oscar go because my people was like, oh, we only need to do Oscar things. I said, no. I want to go back to the funny. I want to stay funny. Matter of fact, I didn't even keep the Oscar with me because the Oscar had some kind of crazy power with it, bro. I can't explain it. You touch that shit and you start speaking in an English accent and shit. When I started, acting is smooth out there. I said, take this shit. So when you see people that win them Oscars and shit, that's a curse, bro. I said, I don't want that. I want to go tell these jokes. I went on the comedy tour after that. I was at Madison Square Garden, and at that time, there was rumors that me and Oprah were in some type of relationship, which was funny. So I went on stage. I said, man, they say I'm dating everybody. Nah, man. But we was cool, and I did the joke. I said, they said I'm dating everybody. And so I said, so I'm laying in bed with Oprah. I leaned over to Gail, and I said, hey, man, this is crazy, right? Hey, Stedman, give me some juice, right? Standing ovation. And I said, I think the joke was, if I was to make love to Oprah, she'd have a brand new episode of her favorite things. And I did the whole thing. Jamie, we got some Jamie love. Jamie love. Come get Jamie love.
Oh, shit. 2012, Django. How did that come about?
2012, I had changed management. And literally, like, I heard about Django, man. I heard about Django from Tyler Perry. Tyler Perry was like, have you heard about this Django movie? I said, nah, man. He says, yeah, it's with Quentin Tarantino. I said, oh, that shit sounds crazy. So he was talking about it. And then Will Smith, and I was like, man, Will, you gotta do that shit. I said, motherfucker, he was like, well, he didn't know if he wanted to play a slave. I said, yeah, you're not a slave, you're a hero though. But, so he passed, and then I seen a motherfucker, Idris Elba. I was at a show, I was doing a show, he came back and said, yeah, you heard this movie, Django, Quentin Tarantino. What's your thoughts? What's your thoughts on the movie? Quentin Tarantino, something about Django. I was like, man, yo, good-looking black motherfucking ass better do that shit, man. I don't know, just thinking about it.
Hey, one more time. Do it one more time. Do that again.
Quentin Tarantino's doing this movie, it's called Django. I don't know. What do you think? I said, man, yo, good-looking motherfucking ass, you gotta do that shit, man. But for whatever reason, they all passed, and then I got a chance to come in and meet Quentin Tarantino, and the thing is that, he never saw Ray. So the way he saw Ray was that he was looking for wardrobe lady, and the wardrobe lady did Ray, so he watched it, had me come in, and I was already off script, I was already off book. Again, being prepared, man, being that sophomore in football, being ready. And I told him I know about the word nigga and all that. I understand what that was back then. And it's necessary to tell the story. So that don't bother him. I understand that. And then I told him, I said, but here's the thing though, dog. I got my own horse. And he said, you got your own fucking horse? I said, yeah, I got my own horse. What the fuck? I said, yeah, it's outside, bro. And I said, not only that, but your stunt horse looked just like my horse. We just got to paint the feet. Just paint the shoes white and we good. And so he was like, I've never in my entire fucking life heard of somebody bringing a horse. I said, I got my horse right outside, bro. Let's go. What we doing? And boom, I got on the movie, bro.
Damn.
That's dope.
That's fucking crazy.
And then when we got into the movie, man, you know, it was volatile, but it was a movie that for black and white folks, you finally get a chance to see an African-American lead, not only... Oh, that's me? Shit, I'm about getting ready to cut somebody else out. Now, who the fuck? Oh, that's me. But it was the first time you saw a black character really be the hero, and that was all Quentin Tarantino. He really wanted that to happen. And when Django came out, man, you know, it was gangbusters, and it was like, you know, it moved the culture in a different way.
It shook them up, yeah.
And people didn't understand the history of Django. There have been Django's made years back. Django was a character from Italy, from the spaghetti westerns. That's how you got Clint Eastwood.
Damn.
So when I did that version, bro, when I go to Italy or any of these places, I can't even walk the street because that was, that was like the superhero. Yeah, so it all worked out.
That's beautiful. What was it like working with Leo? To me, one of the most underrated actors of our generation. What was it like being able to team up with him on that?
First of all, that's the homie, man. A lot of people don't know. Like Leo is like a real dude, and you know, you don't have to. I don't validate nobody just because they into the culture, but like Leo stood in line for the Biggie album back in the day. His best friend is Q-Tip.
That say a lot. That say a lot.
Yeah, that's why in Wolf of Wall Street when he pop like it, that's really him. That motherfucker, like he really on the shit. The motherfucker, he does his thing.
He got some nigga in him.
Oh, man, all the way. And the cold part about it was, you know, he knows the whole rap, all the scenario. Here we go, yo. One day I'm going to get that motherfucker to do that shit. But he's a real dude. And when he came onto the set, when we first did the read-through, he had problems with the word nigga, though. Because he would say it, and then he said, oh, pal, I can't say this. I just can't do it. And then Samuel Jackson goes, hey, motherfucker, it's just another Tuesday. Fuck these niggas. I was like, oh, shit. Motherfucker, say that shit. Motherfucker, shit. It's another motherfucking Tuesday. I was like, he had to really wrap himself into that character. And at one point I pulled him to the side and said, Leo, listen, I ain't your friend right now. We back in the day. And if we was back in the day, they would kill you hanging out with me, talking to me face to face. So you got to let that shit go. Man, the next day that motherfucker came into the set and I said, what's up, Leo? Leo, what's up? What's up? They'll speak to me. When they say action, the motherfucker went in his bag. And that's one of the coldest performances. You check that performance out and he talks about the performance. I won't say some of the private stuff that he talked about. I won't say who it is, but there was this black guy when he grew up, he used to hang out with. And so he mimicked that character for that movie, man. So powerful motherfucker, man. When him and Samuel finally came onto the set, man, the motherfuckers walking in slow motion with their vapes and shit, man. Real Hollywood stars, all-star. Imagine an all-star. Samuel, Leo. I mean, them motherfuckers was going at it. So that's why that movie did what it did.
Beautiful thing. Speak to us a little bit about how important social justice and equality is to you in your life and you know, the role you played in bringing more attention on the Trayvon Martin situation.
Well, I mean, look, man, the one thing about social media, what it has done, it's pulled up the carpet. It lets us see something that we've known about for a long time. Right. The underground, the sincerity in the racism. Now it's wide open. Even if you look at today's world, what's going on right now, what happened to, I think the mayor of Georgia just posted something that was, you know, these terrible, terrible words that someone DM'd her.
I live out here in Georgia, and it's somebody called us some names, and she posted it to put them on blast, but to let you know that that ain't gonna stop her from what she's trying to do.
Yeah, and so now, like I said, we've known about this for all our lives. Now we're dealing with it face to face. So doing movies like Just Mercy with Michael B. Jordan, man, is so important.
Great
it's so
movie,
important
man.
because Thanks, man. Thank you. And it's so important because, you know, Michael B. Jordan, what he's doing for the culture, man, like when he did, when he did Fruitvale Station, you know, like he started laying that narrative down. And even when he did Black Panther, he still had a narrative for us that was, you know,
important,
highlighting us, important for us. So Just Mercy is just the evolution of that, you know, doing a movie to where we put the spotlight on a person who's wrongly accused of a rape and put on death row without a trial. And when we got into these roles, man, we knew we were doing something special and important.
Absolutely.
And because it sits home with me, man. You know, my pops, he was a coach at Lincoln High School, man. They put my pops in jail for $25 worth of illegal substance. They put him in jail for 7 years. Come on, man. This dude was an educator for 25 years in the hood. He would have kids at the school 7 days a week just so they wouldn't get shot or give them something to eat. So here they take this man who would bring the judge to the school, who would talk to the kids. You know, that very judge presided over his case, put him in jail with some of the kids that he had taught. You feel what I'm saying, Steve? It's personal. And the thing is that I don't go visit nobody in jail, bro. I don't do that. I can't. And even with my pops, I said, I told him I can't see you like that, man. I see you as a king. I can't see you like that. So I wrote him one letter. I said, when you get out, I'm gonna save your life. And I fought them people. I fought them people for years. And you know, they didn't understand that my pops, man, was so important to me. He made me rounded. Like he showed me how to play tennis. I said, why we learning what white people do? He said, because I want you to be able to go everywhere. So imagine me playing tennis with my pops, man, you know, in Texas. Couldn't play at the country club, but we was getting it in. So when he get out, man, this is 2001. He get out, I said, listen, I'm gonna save your life. You come live with me. He right over there right now. We've been here for almost 20 years.
Beautiful.
20 years now together, man. So
that's dope.
And so it's important that we keep that narrative, that we don't get exhausted. That's what's great about Brian Stevenson, the lawyer that Michael B. Jordan played. He doesn't get exhausted. He keeps ringing the bell saying we have injustices. And injustice will always rear its ugly head in the most inopportune times. Look at it now.
Facts.
We're dealing with COVID, and who's going to be the one who are going to suffer the worst? We are, because of the injustice, because of the way we're structured in society. We don't have the health care. We don't, even when it comes to the money that they're giving out right now, what are black businesses gonna do? When you see everybody else sort of posturing to get the money, how do they get the money? So it's a whole lot of things that we touch on just by doing the movie, and we just have to keep it going. Our art is our way to crack that code, is our way to open people's eyes, and I think, you know, like we'll continue to do that.
Continuing to be great is the only way, because we move, we set culture, we move culture, we shift culture, we are culture. So that's the only way to continue.
And I appreciate you, Matt. Like sometimes I've heard you speak, man. I heard you speak about a situation. I don't have to go into it now, but I heard you speak about a situation where you said, no, we don't have to live like that no more. We have our own voices. Exactly. And I thought what you and Stephen do, man, like, I don't even think y'all know, but it means so much because you keep it real, but at the same time, there's a level of intelligence and a level of, I'm black and I'm proud to it, that makes us feel good about shit. You know what I mean?
Man, thank you. That means a lot, especially coming from you, bro. We appreciate that.
Oh, for sure.
What actor or filmmaker should we have on our show? Now, listen, before you answer this question, whoever you say, whoever the answer is, and you have that connect, which I'm sure you do, you got to connect them.
You already said you know everybody.
Yeah, you know everybody. So who do you think should be a guest on our show?
You should have Leo, man.
Ooh, you should have Leo. Yes, I'm glad you said that. That's the homie.
Not only that, there was a Black Honors, and he came out and gave me the award, man. And I explained to Leo, I said, Leo, it's not that we're looking for validation, but when people like yourself lend yourself or give your energy to us, it goes everywhere.
It means a lot, dog.
And he's a sports head. You gotta have him because he's a sports head, and I guarantee you, I'll work on him, man. But he's a dope motherfucker.
Love that.
That's the same way we feel about you coming on our show, bro. You don't know what you're doing for our show, so.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. Man, I appreciate this,
We appreciate it, man. Hell yeah. Good call, Jack. Who's an actor or actress you haven't worked with yet that you would like to?
Denzel.
Denzel.
I want to work with D.
Man,
D, man, like back to the party. I threw a party here, different kind of party where we featured D. D came to the party, he sat at the table, and he just broke it down. Like all the actors and actresses were here, and he was just giving us the keys, to how to, make shit right, in the business, you know how you talk, of course you got to do your thing, whatever, boom, motherfuckers doing that shit. But he was breaking shit down so incredible for us. I said, man, I got to work with him because I know when you work with him, you're going to elevate.
Brings out your greatness.
All right. Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. Okay. Mm-hmm. My nigga.
Nigga. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because we had a mariachi band for him. I said, yo, D, we got a mariachi band for you. You got a mariachi band? All right. Okay. Mariachi. Okay. This motherfucker. You got a mariachi band. All right. Uh-huh. Okay. My nigga.
That's funny as hell.
Hey, what's your favorite TV series? Recent. Favorite
TV series of all time? Sanford and Son.
Ooh, oh man, I'm watching that. I watch that every day. I'm sorry, I'm with you on
bro,
that.
I watched that shit, bro. Like I was watching that shit the other day when the TV got stolen and shit. Just classic, man. That's my shit.
One of the greats. You mentioned early on in the 90s, everyone was around. You were around everyone. Any cool Biggie or Pac stories?
Oh man, shit. Tupac used to just be out. I remember one time we was at the Comedy Store. We was looking at Pac. But we didn't look at him like Tupac. It was like, that's, fly nigga.
Mm-hmm.
And somebody pulled a gun out. Nigga. Somebody pulled a gun at the Comedy Store and shot that motherfucker. We was like, ah! And so just running down the street with Tupac.
That's crazy.
You think back about it, it was crazy. And then, we would see him out. And I remember that night, the night he passed away. I remember him, like, it was so crazy, man, like, in the argument with these guys. And we was like, Pop, man, fuck them niggas, man. These motherfuckers, it ain't worth it, whatever. And I was living in Vegas at the time. And then that night, man, unfortunately, the whole world stopped, man. Nice. And I remember walking into the MGM Grand, and MC Hammer walked up to me and said, man, he gone. And this was early. He was like, stop, man, cut that bullshit, man. We just seen him. So, unfortunately, that story, but just to be able to know Tupac. I remember how he was so nice to my mom. Like,
wow.
We were at this thing called the Urban League, right? Some guys was chirping at him. He was like, oh, but he turned around and saw my mom and was so gracious, man. And was like, how you doing, sweetheart? So mannerable and so cool. So I don't know, man. It's surreal that he's gone and things like that. But those used to be the homie. Then he came and did it in Living Color.
Yeah.
He came and did it in Living Color. And when he came, man, it was just like, you didn't realize that these were going to be moments that would last forever in time and be very significant because he wouldn't be here. But just happy-go-lucky fun and just so sad, but at the same time beautiful to be able to have those moments.
Absolutely.
What's your favorite sports moment?
LeBron James coming back 3-1.
Yeah, that's big. That's big. That's big.
That was big. That was big.
That's a big moment. That's a big moment in history.
If you can sit courtside at any game in NBA history, what game would it be?
Oh, it would be, it would be 80, when was Magic Johnson, when he hit the hook.
Is that 87?
That's the Celtics.
87? Is that 87?
86, 87?
Yeah. 87.
87.
Yeah.
God almighty, bro.
Beautiful.
You want to talk about beauty, poetry in motion. I'll never forget that. And what's crazy was I was in college, and me and my roommate, he was white from from Oklahoma, and we wasn't tripping. We wasn't tripping on the teams because I was a Maverick fan, but at the same time, we just automatically started rooting. He said, come on. I was like, come on. I said, come on, Magic. The next thing you know, we got on Laker jerseys, whatever like that. And just to see that shit play out like that, bro, just amazing. I would love to sit courtside with that.
That's history.
All right, so we at the begging segment, right? This is a part of the segment. Baby. This is a part of the segment where, we all fans of all our guests and some things we want to ask for. So this is Matt. Are you involved today, Matt?
No, I just want to be on set.
All right, cool. So, bam, Matt is helping me launch my acting career because he's gonna be behind the camera. You know what I'm saying, doing a lot of stuff. So not only do I want to be on set one of your movies and kind of learn from you and kind of see how you move around and how you get into character, but I also, if you have something going on, let your boy get a cameo or something, man.
Cameo.
Got it. I got it already. Look,
Texas boys, we gotta hold each other down, man.
Jack, listen, we gonna hold each other down, Jack. Listen, this is what we gonna do, Jack. I got a new TV show on Netflix.
Ooh.
It's called Dad Stop Embarrassing Me. And it's about me and my oldest daughter, all the shit that we done went through, from the boys to the drinks, to everything. So we just sold it. We shot just before we went down. Bro, you gotta come on.
Man, that's dope, man. I appreciate it,
Yo,
man.
I'm serious, Jack.
I'm serious, Jack. I'm coming.
Come on, man. We gotta make that shit, man. That shit be good. I make love the pressure.
I make love the pressure, man. Hey, Matt. I'm finna go get some real lessons, baby. Get ready.
Bro, listen, and we gotta put it in the script of where you have to say that. So, damn, are you nervous? I make love the pressure,
I make love the pressure, motherfucker. Yeah, I like that. I like that.
Hey, man, well, Jamie, thank you for your time, man. We really appreciate it. It means a lot to us. Thank you for your time.
Thank you guys, man.
Thanks for your time,
You guys
man.
keep inspiring.
Thank you, man. Hey, that's a wrap. Man, amazing episode with our brother Jamie Foxx. You can catch us on Showtime, Basketball, YouTube, or all platform streaming podcasts.
All of them.
You have a call from an inmate at Williamson County Jail.
What's up, bro?
Did you do it?
What?
Did you do it?
In the state of Texas, there is no bigger community activity than high school football.
It's Friday Night Lights.
Greg was one of the best football players. He's smart, athletic.
The momentum he had is unlike most students ever experience.
I got a text message with Greg Kelly's photo, and it just said, "Do you know this kid?"
There was a crime committed, according to this 4-year-old boy.
I just turned numb. Like, this can't be true, this can't be true.
And that's when a second victim came forward.
We, the jury, find the defendant, Gregory Kelly, guilty of the offense.
This trial was a sham.
There's been an outcry. Everyone's saying, you got the wrong guy.
That could have been me. That could have been any of us.
They've built him up to be angelic. Then you fast forward to the search warrants, and you get a different picture.
Did he ever have you take a lie detector test?
Yeah, I've passed every question but one.
We've been on this journey to try to figure out what the truth is here, and it's proven difficult at every turn.
Initially, I was pretty convinced of his innocence. Now I wouldn't be surprised either way.
This life was all I ever wanted.
I'm not leaving. Not yet.
I was hoping you'd say that.
We gotta hit the streets, make some money.
People like us must destroy people like him. Buckle up.
Get Showtime free at Showtime.com.